What we're going to start off with, I'm just going to show you first of all, okay? So don't do it yet. I'm going to show you two variations. One is going to be easier, okay? So you're going to sit without holding on, butt down, roll like a ball. So you take your feet off, you know, your Pilates roll like a ball, and come up, straight back up, okay? So it's buddy down, roll like a ball, come up, stand up. Right, if there's any issues, knee problems, balance problems, put your hands on the floor, sit down, take hold under here, roll back, roll forwards, and then use your hands to push you back up, okay? So there's a hands-on version and a hands-off version, okay? So, we're ready? Feet hip width. Arms by your side, shoulders back and down. Take a deep breath in. Exhale and sit, roll and back up. Keep going until I tell you to stop. That's it. Two more. One more. Okay. Rising up onto tiptoes. Arms in front, shoulder height. Keep your heels off the floor. Bend. Now if you just want to go part way down, you can just go to here. Otherwise, heel comes towards the butt, heels are still off, and you come up, staying with the heels off. Gently down. Almost like you're sliding down a wall. Gently up. Gently down, heels off. Gently up. Don't rush it. This is not a fast one. It's testing your balance. Don't use momentum here. So slower is better for this one. We've got a faster one coming up. So don't speed this one. That's better. One more. Heels are still off. Hold it. And release. Now put your feet quite wide, about mat width apart. This is a fast one. 25 you're doing, okay? Hands are here again. Now if you want to take it easy, you're just going to here, or wherever you can get to. Otherwise, your butt comes as close to the heels as possible. Heels are down this time, and back up, okay? So we're doing 25, and this one is ultra quick, okay? You ready? Deep breath in. Go. Well done. So, you've got another balance. It looks like this. Step into the middle of your mat. And then, your right leg comes up. Knee lift. Then you're going to extend the leg behind you. As you do that, the arms come forwards. Now, if you want to make it easy, you'll be more upright like this. Or if you want to make it more challenging, you you come a little lower, like this. Sort of more horizontal. Yeah? So we're going to do a certain number of reps on each side, then add a little bit on. Okay? Are you ready? Here we go. Right knee in. Look just ahead of your mat on the floor. Stretch those arms behind. And the toes of the right foot point downwards towards the mat. And the knee faces the floor. Shoulders are down, away from the ears. Elbows are straight, fingers are long. Bend the knee, come back to the chest. And try not to let that foot touch the floor. And again, go back. Arms come forward, palms facing in. Push out through that back heel. Shoulders down and away from the ears. And then bend the knee. Coming back up. Exhale, push away. Stretching those arms out. Stretching the leg out. Inhale, coming up. So you should feel this on the standing leg. Push forward again. Arms outstretched. Anywhere on that standing leg, from the shin to the calf, all the way up to the glute, and bend the knee, and the muscles in your feet. Extend, pushing back. Shoulders down, navel tight. Inhale. Coming up. And extend, pushing back. Reach that leg out. Reach those arms out, shoulders down, navel tight. Inhale. Last one. Extend that leg out. Arms come forward, shoulders down. Hold it. And then take your hands all the way to the floor. And kick that right leg up in the air. Bring the head down towards the left knee. Shoulders away from the ears. Pushing that right leg up nice and high. Then look up. Walk your hands forwards. And at the same time, you might have to hop that left foot back. So you kind of come into a plank, like this, with one foot off the floor. Bend the knee into the chest. So in this position, shoulders are above the hands, butt is down. Knees about 2 inches off the floor. Then stick your butt out, come back into a down dog, inverted V, stretch that leg up. Yes, bend the knee. So your left leg stays straight the whole time, and then push back. Extend the leg behind. Bend the knee to chest. Drop down. The alternative is to drop the other nail to the floor like this and extend it out. Otherwise, continue as you're going. Inhale, knee in. Exhale, extend out. Inhale, knee in. Hover, 1 inch, hold it. Make sure your bum isn't up here, get it back down. And push back. Bend in, plank. And extend out. Last one. Bend in, hold this plank. That's it, Michelle. Hop your back leg further back. Take this knee out to the side and back. Side and back, centre. Side, centre. Option to drop this other knee to the floor like this. I'm showing you the alternative. And centre. Out to the side. into the centre, out to the side, into the centre. 2 more, side, centre, side, centre. Extend back to plank. Left hand into the midline, turn to the right. Arm is up. Yeah. Coming down an inch, up an inch, down an inch, up an inch. Option to go onto your elbow, like this, down an inch, up an inch, down an inch, up an inch. 2 more, down an inch, up an inch, down an inch, up an inch. Hold it. And then gently come back to plank. Drop the knees down. Tuck your toes under. Come into downward facing dog, inverted V. Shoulders away from the ears. Spread the fingers wide. Push the heels to the mat. And just open out the backs of the legs. Bend your right knee. Push that left heel into the mat. Stretching the left calf. Breathe in to prepare. Bend the left knee. Pushing that right heel to the mat. Stretching that right calf. Breathe in to prepare. Exhale, change. Into prepare. Exhale, change. And change. And change. And change. Push both heels down. That's it. Pull those ribs in tight. Look up. Right leg steps forward. Hold that lunge. Hold that lunge. Back heel is off the floor right now. Look up. Reach those arms up. Stretch. If you want to make it easier, drop that left knee down onto the mat like this. Shoulders away from the ears. Otherwise, back knee is off and you're pushing that left heel towards the mat. Elbows are straight, shoulders are down, fingers are long. Into prepare and out through the nose. 3 more breaths. See if you can bend a little deeper. That's it. Hands down. Back leg steps forward together. Straighten the legs. Clasp the hands behind the back. Interlace the fingers and lift the arms up and overhead. Opening out the chest and shoulders. Inhale for 3. Exhale for 3. And slowly coming up. Good. So we're going to do that on the other leg now. Okay. So this time, going to bring that left knee in, arms down. Left knee up, arms by your side. That's it. Amy? Yeah. Come on, Michelle, get your knee up. Michelle Cook, that is. Sorry, she disappeared. And then exhale. Transfer. Lean forwards, palms facing in. Fingers long. Elbows straight, shoulder down. Now, The toes of the left foot point down to the floor. Don't turn your leg out to the side. Can you see now? Can you see? Have a look at the screen. The difference between this, back leg, and this, turning it in. Yes? Don't let that back leg rotate out because your hip will lift. Both hips should be at the same height. Bend the knee. Try not to touch the floor. Bring it to your chest. Arms are down, fingers are long, shoulders back. As the leg extends back, the arms extend forwards. Body comes horizontal. Point the toes of the back foot down. Shoulders down. Elbows straight. Fingers long. Inhale. Knee up. Exhale, push back. Shoulders back and down. Toes pointing down. Leg turned in. And then bend. Inhale. Exhale, extend. Stretch the arms, stretch the legs. So arms and head reaching forward. And back leg pushing back. Inhale, coming up. Exhale, pushing back. Gently coming up. Last one. Pushing back. Extend that leg out back. And then place the hands on the floor and lift that left leg up in the air. Bring the head down towards the right knee. Stretching out that right hammy. Look up. Keep that left leg in the air. You're going to hop that right leg right back till you come into plank. Yes, like this. Have a look. Some of you are like this. Get your butt down. You're in plank. So if it helps, go into plank first and then lift your left leg. Now bend the knee into the chest so it's 1 inch above the floor. The most important thing is here is that your shoulders are directly above the wrist. Your right leg stays straight. Stick your body out, lean back, come into down dog. Left leg stretches in the air. Right heel pushes down to the mat. Gently coming back to plank. Drop the hips right down. Knee 1 inch off the floor. Extend. Leg back. Inhale, coming back to plank. Extend. Stretching that leg up. Bending in. Extend. Bending in. Extend. Bending in. Last one. Extend. Bending in. Now you're going to take that knee out to the side, to the left, out to the side, into the center, out to the side, into the center. Option to drop the right knee to the floor. Yes. Out to the side, into the center, out to the side, into the center. Exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale. One more. Back to the center and extend. This time, right hand comes into the midline, left hand comes off. Now you go down an inch, up an inch, down an inch, up an inch. Option on your elbow, down an inch, up an inch, down an inch, up an inch. Down an inch, up an inch. 2 more. 1 more. Back to plank. Bend the knees. Turn the palms in. Right hand threads through. Right ear, right shoulder on the mat. Butt just slightly behind your knees. Left hand comes off round the back of your spine. Fingertips of that left hand just grabs the crease into your right hip at the top. Turn your head to the left. So you're almost on the back of the skull looking towards the ceiling. Pull that left elbow and left shoulder back. Get as much spinal twist as you can. Inhaling for 3. Exhaling for 3. And release. Change side. Left hand threads through, left ear, left shoulder on the floor. Right arm goes behind your back, grab into the crease of that left hip. Turn your head to the right. Pull that right elbow and right shoulder back. Twist as far around as you can. Then close the mouth, close the eyes. Breathe in for 3 through the nostrils. And out for 3 through the nostrils. In for 3 slowly. And out for 3 slowly. One last breath. And then slowly release. Coming back onto all fours. Tuck your toes under. Come onto your elbows and interlace your fingers so you make a fist. Now your elbows have quite a narrow stance, so they're not really wide. Bring them in a little. Elbows should be underneath your shoulders and knees underneath the hips. So we're going to do Dolphin. So remember, if you want to make this easy, keep your knees down. It's chin to knuckles and then push back. If you want to make it harder, chin on the floor in front of the knuckles and then push back. Now remember, I'm going to show you the advanced version in a minute. I want you to think of 2 things, okay? As you come forward, just watch my shoulders. As you come forward, there's a tendency for people to collapse their shoulders above the up to the ears. You need to pull those shoulders back. The other thing is people push back. You can see this. I'm dumping my ribs here. My ribs are poking out. So I want to get the rib lock like I'm going to puke, and you see what that does to my spine. It brings it back to a neutral. If your ribs are poking out, the back starts to arch like this. So keep those ribs in tight. So ribs tight, shoulders down, okay? Otherwise, if you want to make it more challenging, the knees are going to come off, okay? Like this. And as you come forward, try to keep the pike, try not to drop down to a plank. So what will make it easier is if your feet are further back like this and you're more of a plank position. The closer the feet are to your elbows, the harder this is. So if you kept walking, you'd notice that there's more body weight gets thrown forward over the shoulders. All right, last thing, when you push back, there's a tendency to do this and push back way back. My shoulders are now way behind my elbows. There's no point here. Stop the movement where your shoulders are directly above the elbows here. Don't continue leaning back, all right? So knees up or knees down. Take a breath in. And then gently engage core, breathe out, hold it. Inhale as you lean forward, either chin to knuckle or nose to floor. And then exhale, push through the forearms as you push back. Yeah? Inhale, exhale, pushing back to that down dog. Inhale, leaning forwards, exhale, pushing back. Inhale, leaning forwards, exhale, pushing back. Inhale forwards, exhale, pushing back. Inhale forwards, exhale back. Watching those ribs. Good. Inhale forwards, exhale, shoulders away from the ears. Inhale forwards, exhale, pushing back. Inhale forwards, exhale, pushing back. Inhale forwards, exhale back. 3 more. Two more. And again. And release. Good. Lying face down. So straight into your back. Now from here, we're going to do your rocking. So it's kind of this one. Okay. If that's too much in your back, you're going to bring your elbows level with your shoulders, 90 degrees. And you're going to do half cobra instead. So you push the marble away with your nose, lift your forehead, your nose, your chin. You roll the shoulders back and you just come up a little way. Yeah, just a half cobra. And then you reverse, chin, nose, forehead. So it's forehead, nose, chin, roll the shoulders back, lift the chest and keep pulling the shoulders down and lift the breastbone and then chin, nose, forehead on the way down. Otherwise, you're holding rocking for a minute. Okay, so you bring the heels towards the butt or grab your leggings or use a stretch band or a strap around the feet. And first thing, just move the feet away. And you notice that lifts your chest because it's pulling on your arms. Now have a look at my shoulders, if you can see them. Make sure they're not rolling in like this. Can you see the difference between this and this? Rolling them back. Don't let them roll in, roll them back. And then lift your knees. Okay, time starts now. Halfway, lift up higher. Last 10 seconds, see how high you can get. Push those heels away, lift the thighs up, lift the head up, open the chest, lift. And then gently release. Push up onto all fours, sit back on the heels, counter stretch. Open out the lower back. Pilates rest position, knees apart, feet together, head on the floor, arms at 10 to 2. Tuck your chin in and slowly roll back. Head comes up last of all. Good. So, stretching your legs out. Stretching your arms out. Shoulders are back. Flex the feet. Hands at shoulder height. Breathe in. Exhale. Imagine you've been punched in the stomach and winded. So you rock back at those sit bones and start to go down about halfway. And then you're going to go down an inch, up an inch, without moving your feet. Now as you go down an inch, your heels will want to slide in by about 1 centimetre or 2 towards you. As you come up an inch, your heels will want to push away. Yes, so they kind of want to do this. Can you see my feet? How they're sliding forwards and back? You've got to keep your heels absolutely still. And the closer you are to the mat, the harder this is. The more upright you are, the easier this is. Down an inch, up an inch. But you've got to keep an eye on your heels. So you see my heels are at the end of my mat. So I can see if they're moving or not. Down an inch, up an inch. 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 And then gently all the way down onto the mat. Head comes down last of all. Now, so what we're going to do, bend the knees, engage the core, pelvic floor, belly button, float right leg up, float left leg up. Now this is a double leg press. So you've got to have a strong core here, okay? Otherwise, I'm going to ask you, because you don't want to hurt your back here. So there's only 2 ways you can make this easier, okay? Well, there's 3 actually. You can bend the knees, take the weight out of the leg. A short lever, a bent leg weighs less than a straight lever, a long leg, a straight leg. So you can bend the knees. Or you can just move the legs just a couple of inches away from you and then bring it back. So limit the range of movement. The other thing is you can place one hand on top of the other hand like this and then place those hands under your sacrum. Yeah? So that when you do a double leg press, you've got a little bit of support from your hands. Okay? Yeah, so one part is on top of the other. So the main thing here is that your lower back is protected, okay? It mustn't arch. You should only feel this in the core, not your back. If you feel it in the back, bend the knees and just move a couple of inches away, okay? And even if that's too much, then just go to single alternate legs instead, all right? So I'm going to breathe in to prepare. As you exhale, engage your pelvic floor, stop you breaking wind, stop you passing urine, zip, scoop and hold that belly button, tightening that pair of jeans, zipping them up, and then pushing the 2 legs away, either bent or straight, and then slow motion, bringing them back until the knees are above the hips. Breathe in, engage core, pushing the legs away, and then gently bringing back. Try to do this, exhale as you push away with your eyes closed, so that you're really taking your focus internally. When your eyes are closed, keep going at your own pace, your own speed, your own time. When your eyes are closed, you can really home in on your internal environment when you shut out all those external visual distractions. So home in on that internal environment, and you're much more aware and more sensitive to different sensations in the body, i.e. what you feel. So then you'll be able to tell maybe better if you feel it in the abs or you feel it in the back. Also bear in mind what I always say here when we're doing ab work, particularly core ab work, lying on your back. For me, it's not about necessarily the range of movement, how far you get, because it's actually harder and more of a challenge to go less range of movement, so not moving the legs very much, but to actually go half the speed, so twice as slow. So if you were doing a double leg raise, which is what we're doing, a double leg press, and you took, let's say, I don't know, 10 seconds to push the legs away and back for one repetition. It's actually more challenging to go half of the range of movement, but do it in 20 seconds. So doing it at half speed, much more slowly, because you've got to have a lot more control to hold the position for longer. Yeah? Let's do 2 more, slowly. Exhale as you push away. Inhale as you come back. Keeping that lower back pressed flat to the mat. Make sure you don't touch the floor. And actually, I'm going to get you to do one more, but come back twice as slow. So if you took 10 seconds to push out, take 20 seconds to come back. So legs up again. Go on, you've got one last one in you. That's it. Breathe in to prepare. Exhale, push away. But when you come back twice as slow, because this is when everybody rushes their legs back thinking, oh, all the work's over. And actually, you can make this much harder if you slow down the return journey, because that's the bit if people think, oh, the work's over, and they rush their legs back in. That's it. Good. And give them a hug. Well done. Nice. Little rock from side to side. And then clasping the hands behind the head. So remember this, we did this maybe a couple of weeks ago. It's your basic curl up, coming up nice and high. So make sure your fingers are like this, okay, not like this. Yeah, you want them completely interlaced. Remember the average head weighs about 12 pounds, it's just under a stone. So your arms want to take the weight of the head here. The elbows should be here, within your peripheral vision, in front of your ears. If they're out here to the side, again, your arms won't take the weight of the head, and then you'll get neck strain here. So bring them forward, and they stay super glued in this fixed position. Little right peach between chin and chest. As you come up, don't break the delicate skin. Keep that little gap there. Feet are hip width apart, middle of the knee, middle of the hip, down to the second toe. Pelvis neutral. Breathe in. Exhale, engage your pelvic floor. Stop you breaking wind, stop you passing urine. Zip, scoop and hold that belly button back to the spine. Leave the head on the floor, looking up to the ceiling, but as your arms take the weight of the head and pull your head off the floor, bring your eye level down to just above the knees. So looking in between the knees, little gap between chin and chest here. Okay, so this is relatively easy. Remember, 80% of this movement, you're only doing 20% of the work. Breathe in. Slow motion, and I mean real slow. Take about 5 seconds just to lift an inch. Slowly peel another vertebra off the mat without changing elbow position, without hunching your shoulders, without pulling the chin to the chest. You're probably still in your comfort zone if you haven't got a shake on. So again, breathe in. Exhale, curl up another vertebra off the mat until such time as you get a shake. And when you get that shake, you know you're now out of the comfort zone, into the challenge zone where all the work's happening. That last 20%, that last inch where all 80% of the work is going on. Hold it, hold it. Otherwise, this is not worth doing. Take your hands off, put them behind your thighs. Drop your shoulders away from the ears. Bend your elbows slowly and pull yourself up another inch or so, using your arm strength to pull you up that you wouldn't have got had you not used your arms. Yeah, now when you've got that increased height, let go. Drop those shoulders down. And the hardest bit is trying to keep the height as you take the arms back. Now remember, as you take the arms back, the weight of the arms going backwards will pull your torso back down to the... Get up! Get up! Come on. Lift up. Give me another inch. Another vertebra. Come on, lift. 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 Come on. And then gently down. Keep the elbows exactly where they are. Don't let them flap out to the side. Fixed position. Breathe in. Exhale, pelvic floor, belly button, shoulders down, curl up, head, shoulders, shoulder blades. Keeping that right peach intact between chin and chest. Elbows are in front of the ears to take the weight of your head. Get up. Can you stay in between the knees? Breathe in. Slow motion, come up a little higher. Come up more. A little bit more till you're right, till you literally cannot lift anymore. And there's a burn going on in your abs and there's a shake going on. Yeah? Let go. Hands behind the thighs, fingertips behind the thighs. Bend your elbows out to the side and pull yourself up another inch or so using your arm strength. Then try to keep that increased height as you let go. Now remember, stay up. In order to stay up, you don't just stay here. You have to lift higher as the arms go back. Actively lift higher as your arms very slowly go behind the head. Lift up, lift up, lift, lift, lift. And without moving your elbows, curl back down. If you're doing this right, it should be burning. Breathing in. Exhale, pelvic floor, belly button, curl, head, shoulders, shoulder blades off the mat. Now get out of the comfort zone. Slow motion, take another vertebra. And another one. And another one. Come up until you literally cannot physically lift any higher. You're right at the end of the range of movement. It's burning and there's a shake going on. Then let go. Hands behind the thigh. Pull yourself up another inch or so using your arm strength. Now stay up as you let go. This is the hard bit. In order to stay up, you don't just stay here. You have to lift higher in order to stay in the same position as the arms pull you back. Lift up. Lift up. More. Lift higher. And keep the elbows stable as you curl the head back down. Yeah? Breathing in. Exhale, draw those shoulders down. Curl up, head, shoulders, shoulder blades. Come up, come up, come up. Yes. Now, breathe in, lift up a little higher. Another vertebra. Come into the challenge zone straight away. Not yet. Michelle, get your hands behind your head. Lift up a little bit more. Come on. That's it. Hands behind the thighs. Pull. Give me another inch or so. That's it. Stay up. Let go. Let go. That's it. Now lift up higher as you bring the arms back behind the head. Lift up, lift up, lift up. lift up, lift up, lift up. And coming back to the floor. Now you've got one more, keep your elbows intact. Now this is your last one. So make it your best one. Inhale. Exhale. Curl up head, shoulders, shoulder blades. Coming up. Coming up. Coming up. Come on, this is your last one. Make it your best one. That's better. Get some welly in. Come on. Get up. Get up. That's it. Hands behind. Lift up. Let go. Let go. That's it. Arms up. Now lift up, lift up, lift up, lift up. Lift up. Come on. Hold it. Hold it. Keep up. Keep up. 5, 4, higher. 3, 2, and release. Let your arms come down by your side. And I just want you to let your head flop from right to left. So you loosen off those neck muscles. Okay, so just show you what I want you to do next. Have a look at the screen. I'm going to show you from a couple of different angles. Now you've got 4 movements here, okay? 4 things to do. So the first thing, you're going to get your alignment. So let me just show you first of all, from the side. Your joints are stacked, hip over hip, knee over knee, ankle over ankle. You just got to make sure that your feet are in front of your hips, that you're in a nice straight line and you're not rolling back and you're not rolling forward. Yeah? Then you're going to bend the underneath leg at about 90 degrees. And the top leg is about hip height, so the foot is level with the hip. Now, keeping the knee exactly where it is, I'm going to bring the heel back towards the butt at a 90-degree angle. 4 movements here. Number 1, lengthen the waist and lift. Now, when I lift, I don't want to turn the knee out like this. Can you see? You want to keep the heel level with the knee. So, number 1, I lengthen the knee and I lift it. Number 2, I'm going to take the leg behind me, so it pushes backwards. That's number 2. Number 3, it comes back into the midline. And number 4, the knee comes back to hip height. So it's lift, push it behind you, bring it forward. Now, when people bring it forward, they tend to bring the knee too far forward, okay? And then you lower it down. I'm going to show you this from the side so you can see. Because if you don't get this alignment right, it's not worth doing. Okay, so I want you to look from the side. Hip height, knee comes back to 90 degrees. I'll show you the common mistake that people make. So, first thing, you lift the leg, but you don't rotate it out. Okay? Keep roughly the knee the same height here. 1. Number 2, push it back behind you. And as you push it back, make sure your ribs don't pop out. Keep those ribs in tight so that they don't flare. Okay? Number 3, you bring it back. Now this is the mistake people make. When they bring it back, this is when it's level here. People bring it too far forward. Okay? You don't want to bring the knee in front of where the hip actually is. And then you lower it down. So it's 1, 2, 3, and then down. You got that? Maybe I'll go on a kind of half angle here. All right, so maybe I'll go to the side. Top arm in front. Bottom arm, stretch the fingers along the floor so you're nice and long. Okay? And then bend that underneath leg, top leg, hip height. Make sure the top leg is slightly rotated in, okay, not out. Turn it in. And then bring the heel back towards the butt. Then just have a look down, make sure that this knee is not coming in front of the hip. Okay. Ideal scenario, foot lifts higher than the knee. So if you can lift the foot a little higher than the knee, do, because then the leg rotates in even more. When the leg rotates in, it works those deep glutes even further. Breathe in, shoulder down. Top arm in front. Exhale, engage core, lengthen the leg out of the hip socket, lengthen the waist, and lift the knee up a couple of inches. Try to keep the foot higher than the knee. Then push the knee back behind you, maybe a couple of inches, without arching your back. So keep those ribs in tight, shoulder down. Bring the leg forward. This is the bit where people bring their knee in front of the hip here. So have a look down and then lower the knee back to hip height. Lengthen the waist. Turn the top leg in so the heel is uppermost and lift it up. Take the leg behind you, and as you take the leg behind you, zip, scoop and hollow that tight pair of jeans, zipping it up, draw those ribs in, keep the waist long, bring it forward again, have a quick glance down, make sure it's not, the knee isn't in front of the hip, and then lower it down an inch. Keep that top shoulder down, lengthen the waist, turn the leg in, breathe in, exhale, lift the leg up an inch, take it back, ribs in tight, navel tight, bring it forwards, not too far, and then down, and again have a look and make sure that that knee hasn't come in front. Breathing in, exhale, and turn the leg in, lift it up. Take it back behind you, keeping those ribs tight. Bring it forwards and then lower it down. 2 more. Lifting up. Heel uppermost. Take it back. Bring it forward again. And then lower it down. Make sure the knees are not in front, and we're going to do that one more time. Breathing in. Turn the leg in, lengthen, lift it up. Take the leg back. Take the leg forward, but this time bring it forward all the way until the knee is directly on top of the other knee. Now, extend the leg out, so the knees, again, still on top of each other. Now, what you'll find here is this hip will want to hitch. So if you take your hand and pull that hip down, so the waist is nice and long again, so it's not collapsing here. Lift the leg, so the foot is level with the hip. Turn it in, so the toe points down slightly. Lift it up. That's it. And add tiny little circles. Circle. Circle. So keep the knee directly above the other knee. You're not taking it behind it. Okay? It's directly hovering above, and the waist is long. Tiny, slow motion. Really small. Yes? Less is more. Shoulder down, away from the ears. Slow motion, slow motion, slow motion. Keep the waist long. Keep the leg turned in, toes down. Slow motion, slow motion. Nipples, slow it down. Yeah, you're going too fast. Slow the circle. Yes. Hold. Keep it at a constant height. 5, 4, 3, 2, and bend the knee and release down. Good. So, whichever leg is on top now, that's the leg that's now, when you're lying on your back, is going to cross over your opposite thigh. So whichever leg you were lifting, you cross that ankle over the opposite thigh, over the opposite knee. And then the foot that's on the floor, pull it into your chest and hold behind your thigh. Stretching out those glutes. And then gently release. So this time lying on your opposite side. Lying on that outstretched arm. And again, make sure the feet are level with your hips. Ankle over ankle, knee over knee, hip over hip. Oh my God. David, there's a wasp! Sorry. Freaking out. Oh, that's massive. Lying on your side. Bend that underneath. There's a massive wasp.
Well, leave it alone. It's not bothering you.
And then bend that knee. And then lift the top leg. Oh, Christ. Top leg level with the hip. Bend that knee back 90 degrees. Waist long. Lift that heel. And turn that top leg in. Now just take a look down. Make sure the knee isn't coming in front of that hip. Breathe in. And then exhale, lift that top leg up a couple of inches. Now push it back behind you without losing the 90-degree angle and draw those ribs in and keep the waist long. Now bring the knee forward just an inch or two, make sure it doesn't come in front of the hip. And then lower the knee down to hip height. Lengthen the waist again, ribs in tight, navel tight. Turn the leg in, see if you can get your foot a little bit higher than your hip, and then lift the knee up a couple of inches. Now push the foot back behind you without letting your belly hang out, suck it in, without letting your ribs flare, draw them back, and keeping that waist nice and long. Bring the knee, make sure it doesn't come in front of the hip, and then lower the knee back down. Before you lift again, suck in the core, draw in the ribs, turn the leg in, lengthen the waist. Lift the knee up. And then keep those ribs really tight. Push that leg back, make sure your pelvis doesn't roll back. Head lamps on your hip bones shining forwards. Bring that knee back into alignment. And then lower the knee down back to hip height, keeping those ribs in tight. Turning the leg in. Lengthen, stretch and lift that knee up. And then push that foot back behind you without changing the angle of the knee. Keep that 90-degree angle, shoulder down. Bring that knee a couple of inches forward, make sure it doesn't come in front of the hip. And then lower the knee down to hip height, so not very much movement at all. Lengthen the waist, pull in the core, draw the ribs in, turn the leg in, shoulder down. Exhale, as you lift the knee, keep pulling the thigh out of the hip socket. As you take the leg back, keep the 90-degree angle, make sure your pelvis doesn't roll back, and draw the ribs in tight. Bring the knee forward again, but not in front of the midline. And then lower the knee back to hip height, turn the leg in, lengthen the waist. Feel like someone is pulling your thigh bone out of the hip socket. Lengthen and lift the knee, turn it in, heel higher than the knee if you can. Push that leg back only as far as you can keep stable. Draw the ribs in, shoulder down, waist long. Bring the knee forward again and then lower it to hip height. Last one, breathing in, turn the leg in. Exhale and lift the knee up. Keep exhaling, push it back, drawing those ribs in tight, shoulder down. Bring the knee forwards and then lower. Bring that knee right in front, knees together, knee over knee, straighten the top leg and then lift it to hip height. Keep that waist nice and long. There's a tendency for your hip to collapse here, so just push that waist nice and long. Keep that top knee hovering over the bottom knee and lift it up an inch and then gently back down. So keeping it directly over that opposite knee. Waist long. And again, slightly turn the leg in without shortening in the waist. Lifting up and down. Exhale, lift. Inhale, down. Exhale, lift. Inhale, down. And then just turn it into a little circle. Or maybe more of an oval really. So you're still lifting and lowering, you're just drawing a tiny little oval as you do that. And just less is more here. So the slower you go and the less range of movement you have, the harder it actually becomes. So the smaller the movement and the slower the movement, the more intense you should feel it. Keep the leg turned in, don't let it start turning out. You'll see by the position of your foot here. Turn it in and you'll feel it go much more. As you turn it in, make sure you don't hip hitch, so keep that waist long. Just small. Keeping it directly above, the leg will want to go back. Try to keep it in front. Couple more. And then gently bend this knee. And you're going to cross that knee over the opposite leg, lying on your back. And you might feel it burn a little bit more as you release that lactic acid into the bloodstream. You might want to give it a little punch. And then bring that leg in. Stretching out those glutes. Nice, easy breathing. And then gently release. Coming onto all fours. step forward with the left leg. Tuck the toes of the right foot under. Take that knee off. Yes. So remember, we did the lunge on the right leg at the start. Option to keep that right knee down like this on the mat. And if you want to, you can have your hands on the thighs or on the floor. Shoulders down, palms facing inwards towards each other, elbows straight, fingers long. Nice deep lunge. Place the hands down. Straighten both legs. Stretch out that hamstring on that front leg. So left leg is straight. Have a look at that left big toe. Make sure you're not rolling onto the side of the foot. Press that big toe down. At the same time, push this right hip forwards so that you're not twisting your hips. Yeah? Right hip forward, left hip back. Shoulders down, back is flat. Push the crown of the head forwards and away. Few breaths here while you stretch out that left hammy, and then come into the center. Slightly pigeon-toed, angle the toes in, angle the heels out, and then gently bend your elbows and push the crown of the head towards the mat. Option to take the arms behind the head, interlacing the fingers and reaching the arms up and overhead. Otherwise, you can just have your hands on the floor. And then turn to the opposite leg, so turn facing the other direction. And bringing the head down towards the knee. This time, push the back hip forward. So left hip forward, right hip back. Push that right big toe into the floor. Make sure you're not rolling onto the side of the foot. Flatten the mid back. Push the crown of the head away and feel the stretch behind the back of that right thigh this time. Coming back to the center, narrowing the stance a little, soften the knees and head last, slowly rolling up. Head comes up last of all. Standing with your feet hip width apart, soften the knees, roll the shoulders back and down, engage core. Take a breath in. Exhale, nod the chin down and slowly start to peel bone by bone, vertebra by vertebra, one at a time. When you get to the bottom, shake out the neck, shake out the head, and let the stomach anchor and pull you up, bone by bone, one vertebra at a time. Head comes up last of all. Breathing in. Exhale, chin down.